especially since her blog clearly identified her as a Unitarian Universalist minister. Although it was a pseudonymous blog, it didn't give her name. It just used the term peace bang. It nonetheless said she was a Unitarian Universalist minister. So anything posted on her blog of an offensive... It's always a good day to be accused of blasphemy by Unitarians. It doesn't get better than that, sir. It's truly a wonderful day. So this guy comes out of the church and wishes me a good day. This typical behavior of Unitarians, Unitarian Universalists, be nice, and it's just a way of deflecting, what's going on. I'm protesting against some very serious issues. I am protesting against clergy abuse, which includes clergy sexual abuse, which includes such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. And, all Unitarian Universalists can do is say, have a nice day. Don't worry, be happy, have a nice day. So, essentially they just don't want to deal with it. It's basically willful ignorance and psychological denial. So yeah, people are coming out of the church, which is what I was expecting to happen. So just making sure that they see the signs. And anywho, getting back to Reverend Victoria Weinstein, also known as Peace Bang. She, good day, sir. Yeah, I think we're heading into afternoon now.
Oh, okay. I'm in a different time zone.
Oh, that could be. So anyhow, we've got some, I'm going to veer away from what I've been talking about and get back to what's happening sort of here and now. And we're going to come back actually to the Church of the Image Tarnishing Minister sign because it plays a role here. Right now at the Unitarian Church of Montreal, it's something of a special Sunday. They're having a kind of a sing-in with some choirs from other Unitarian Universalist churches, including the Lakeshore Unitarian Universalist congregation on the West Island of Montreal, and apparently a choir from the Toronto Unitarian Church. I'm not sure which Toronto Unitarian Church, probably the primary one, but there are some smaller congregations as well in Toronto, some fellowships and so on. But anyway, in terms of ministers, well, we have Reverend Diane Rollard here. We've also got Reverend Meg Roberts here. And we've also got Reverend Frances Deverell here. She's the Ottawa Unitarian Universalist minister. She came in earlier this morning while I was protesting, and we had a little chat kind of thing, or perhaps I had a bit of a monologue aimed at her after she said hello to me. I came back with basically information about the protest, information she was already quite aware of, but I just wanted to remind her, what this protest is all about, and remind her that she's effectively complicit in the injustices and abuses and hypocrisy that I'm protesting against if she doesn't speak out against it. I made that point very clear to her. I even said, she should get, some of her other Unitarian Universalist ministers together and speak out against the Unitarian Universalist Association's misuse of blasphemy law and legal bullying intended to hide pedophilia and rape. I even suggested she should start a petition of Unitarian Universalist ministers, demanding an explanation for why the Unitarian Universalist Association has falsely accused me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel and legal bullying that seeks to hide pedophilia and rape. So we got these three ministers who are part of the problem. And they're part of the problem even if they're not necessarily tarnishing the image of Unitarian Universalism themselves, which is open to some debate. They are nonetheless totally complicit in the Unitarian Universalist Association's immoral and unethical, and in fact borderline criminal, and I dare say batshit crazy, misuse of Canada's blasphemy law in legal bullying intended to hide pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers, to say nothing of Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers. So they're all totally complicit, even if they're innocent in every other sense, which I'm not saying that they are. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, Reverend Diane Rollert has certainly tarnished the image of the Unitarian Church of Montreal herself. Frances Deverell, at least in terms of how she has behaved towards me in the past, and I've reported her behavior, she's tarnished the image of Unitarian Universalism with her poor anger management and her total complicity in Reverend Ray Drennan's intolerant and abusive behavior. She was basically got extremely angry with me a few years ago when I spoke out against the Unitarian Universalist Association's misuse of blasphemy law at the Ottawa Unitarian Church, and even did a little protest there. Basically, Frances Deverell very angrily berated me, and I unfortunately didn't have my camera recording at the time. It would have been nice to have a recording of Frances Deverell going ballistic on me, but I did speak about it, I did report it. So in that sense, Frances Deverell, in a small way at least, has tarnished the image of Unitarian Universalism. Meg Roberts, well, again, she's totally complicit. I believe Meg Roberts has been aware of my protests for at least a few years. I believe Meg Roberts was I think, if I'm remembering correctly, she was a speaker at the Canadian Unitarian Council's annual general meeting, the Montreal one a few years ago. So if she wasn't aware of things before, she should have been then. But I'm pretty sure Meg Roberts, like a good number of Unitarian Universalist ministers, is quite aware of the fact that the Unitarian Universalist Association has tried to misuse Canada's blasphemy law in clergy sex abuse, cover-up, legal bullying, and yet I haven't seen Meg Roberts speak out against it, haven't seen Meg Roberts demand an explanation from the UUA and demand that the UUA withdraws its false accusation and so on.
That's comical.
Well, it's comical, but it's also very, very sad that Unitarian Universalism is in fact an unsafe sect. So, yes, it's a funny play on words, but Unitarian Universalism has a very serious clergy misconduct problem, amongst other unsafe aspects of Unitarian Universalism. So this woman coming out of the church sees my picket sign, which says unsafe sect, and laughs. And indeed, I want people to see the humor in it. I want people to laugh. I want people to, you know, see the derision in this two-word zinger, unsafe sect, which is obviously a play on the term safe sex. So the problem is when a Unitarian Universalist laughs, they very often laugh in a way that's dismissive, as I'm quite sure this woman did you know, they laugh in a way. Oh, that's comical in the sense that it's not true. You know, it's comical. It's funny that you're displaying this sign that says unsafe sect when in fact, oh, we're very safe. We're not unsafe at all. You know, that's what they're thinking. Unfortunately for that woman and pretty much every other Unitarian Universalist, this sign is actually very truthful and supported by quite a bit of evidence. This sign, when I originally created it back in the late 1990s, had a question mark after it. It said unsafe sect with a question mark. It was a rhetorical question, but I nonetheless, you know, softened the blow a little bit with a question mark. You know, is Unitarian Universalism an unsafe sect? You know, well, what happened is you know, I've had to reprint the slogan a few times because, you know, the paper gets dirty or wet or whatever, and I have to recreate the slogan. Well, the last time I tried to recreate it, which was actually quite recently, a few months ago or last year, I printed out the letters somewhat too big, and the question mark just wouldn't fit. It was, you know, with the question mark, it just wouldn't fit on the page. So I said, oh, what the heck, let's just cut the question mark off and we'll just make it a statement now. And there's really no reason not to make it a statement. It is a very truthful two-word assessment of the fact that Unitarian Universalism is an unsafe sect in a variety of ways, actually. It's not just clergy misconduct that makes Unitarian Universalism unsafe. That is a serious problem that is very, very poorly handled by the Unitarian Universalist Association and individual Unitarian Universalist congregations. But it's not the only problem that causes Unitarian Universalism to be unsafe. I see we're coming to the end of a half-hour segment here, so we're going to wrap this up and we'll start another half-hour segment very soon. So that's it for now.